Yo, welcome to our first podcast at Planet Online. We are your host, CLASSI and Jack. Say hi.
Hello.
We're going to have a lot of topics to talk about, but first of all, we're going to talk about the actual podcast itself and how you can be a guest on the podcast. We'll be trying to do this weekly, but it's our first time, so we might mess up. But we'll start with what we're going to be doing on the podcast. What we're doing on the podcast, Jack?
This cast is going into three sections. Section number one, what's happening online. Section number two is where we talk about in depth on esports and how esports affects the world. And number three is story time, or if anyone wants to send in suggestions on what we can do for a story time, send us your stories.
Right, on the podcast, we're going to be doing obviously loads of topics that Jack's just listed, and well, that's it. We'll talk about the first topic, I guess.
What's happened on the internet? So let's go straight into our first BBC News. BBC News is the most reliable source in the whole world, just saying. So recently, the PlayStation 5 has been announced. It's coming Christmas 2020, and it's going to be lit. RTX has been confirmed, as well as many other things like an SSD, what's supposed to run fucking crispy. And just to top all that off, PlayStation says they're not going to go through the whole name and scheme of calling it like the PlayStation Ultra Mega Box or whatever Xbox is designed to call theirs. So instead, they're just going to go for the simple, for plain 5. Why, you ask? PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4. What's next? 5.
If you can't count, that's how you count to 5. Congratulations, we just taught you how to count.
As of yet, nothing's been confirmed about the controller. Backwards compatibility will be a thing, and I fucking hope they'll add Discord, because I love me some Discord.
That'd be pretty
It actually would be epic.
epic.
Because the thing about Discord is like it's not in like anything at all. It's solely on PC and mobile. So like if we were able to get it onto console, I could chat
Would
to
be
you,
pretty
wasn't
cool.
a PlayStation or even my boys.
Yeah, but the
You
next
get
Call
me?
of Duty, also we'll talk about that now, the next Call of Duty is Activision Friends, so say you are on, say, Fortnite, there's gonna be
Yeah.
there's gonna be Epic Games, and you can invite people through Epic Games who are on different platforms. As in, say you're on Xbox, you can invite people from phone, Nintendo Switch, PC,
Yeah, but
PS4.
how that works is like they have their own servers. So
Yeah, and Modern Warfare, it's gonna have its own service
yeah,
too, because there's
well,
Activision
Activision
Friends.
decided to be like, we're gonna make our own servers instead of running off like the Xbox and the PlayStation ones and the PC ones. So instead of running through separate servers, they're getting their own. And as soon as because they've got their own servers now, they're able to just run all games themselves. What means they don't have to physically follow PlayStation's guidelines when it comes to like like how full a game can be, like how many games can be running at once. Because that's why you get so many like bottlenecks when it comes to like matchmaking. Backwards compatibility will be nice. Plus, if we're gonna get RTX, ray tracing is beautiful. I've played like 2 games of ray tracing and it's the best.
Explain what ray tracing is, because I bet you any money there's going to be people watching or
Okay,
listening
so
that
basically,
have
ray
no
tracing
idea.
is the game engine physically tracks every ray of light. So if it's a tree, it will pass through every like crack in like or any like distance between the leaves. It won't pass through the leaf, causing like especially if there's like smoke or like fog in the air, there'll just be like the light coming through, like heavenly.
Pretty much it's going to be like better shadows and
Better
stuff like
shadows,
that.
better mirrors, stuff like that. Like, if you watched the Battlefield 5 when they announced ray tracing for that, they did a demo where it was like an explosion next to a car. Without ray tracing, you
Mhm.
couldn't see like the fire, but then with it, you could. It's a game changer. So, BBC News yesterday reported on a guy aged 28 from Wales who's apparently lonely because of video games. He said that video games are spent like taken for anywhere between 6 to 14 hours, was by the way, it's pussy numbers, but he's taken 6 to 14 hours a day playing video games, and he says, well, even when he's not playing, he's still thinking about playing.
That's me on a day-to-day basis. I'm sorry, but like, shit.
They quoted him saying, I don't want a relationship unless it's with someone who sits and plays video games with me the whole time. I just don't do it. Like, fair enough if you want to play games, but at the same time, you need a social life. Like,
Talking about e-girls, Belle Delphine got arrested apparently.
ooh, we'll get on that
We'll
later.
talk about
Yeah.
about that later.
But a teacher of mine did explain that once he got like really depressed because he thought about like the fact that you're sat in a room by yourself, you're talking to people on the internet, you log off for the night, you realise you've been sat there alone the whole night. It doesn't matter how many people you're talking to online, you're still alone. Forever.
Technically, but technically
Yeah.
not.
I mean, do you see anyone around you right now?
Me, myself, and I.
Exactly. Alright.
Yeah, but I like being on my own. maybe
Yeah,
a bit
being
too
on
much, but
like people who are like, oh, being like you're like an introvert, 'cause you like being by yourself. I I like the company of people who actually understand what I'm saying. If I'm the only person who understands what I'm saying, so be it. I'm not exactly gonna cater to other people.
I'm a weirdo though. I like being on my own, but I also don't at the same time.
The World Health Organization updated their guidelines to include gaming disorder as a mental health condition back in 2018. This is just giving people excuses to play video games. The fact that it's now diagnosed as a mental health issue means what more people are just going to categorize themselves as that and try not to break it because they're like, well, I have this disorder. What makes me play games more? So I'm gonna play games more. People who
It's
play
not a
video games,
gaming. It's not a disorder though, is it?
it's not though.
It's just
People don't
liking to play games.
also, people don't need any more excuses to play games for longer.
Yeah, I know.
They literally do
If
not.
if you're already addicted to a game, like Fortnite apparently is getting sued or something, but we will get onto that later.
Yeah.
Something got
Well,
said about
we
that.
can move on to it now. They're getting sued basically because apparently they made their game too addictive, which basically just means they made a really good game and parents aren't happy.
That the
Which
kid wants to sit there for 10
Yeah.
hours doing take the L.
I mean, when kids start to like take the L in public, I'm like, yeah, your parents should probably stop you from playing that. But
I do take the L in public. Shit.
I mean,
Also, about our socials, they are on screen now. So if you want to go and check us out, I post some epic gamer content, and I know Jack does too. So you know, check
I just
us
tweet
out.
random bullshit. I mainly just like tweet High School Musical things. Anyway, he also says that he doesn't get enough sleep. I mean, come on, my dude, you're doing 16 hours a day like on a video game. Do you really think you're gonna sleep? Like what? I mean,
Nope.
16 hours a day. He's still gonna have like a good like.
There's
8
people
hours.
out here doing like 72-hour streams and stuff. Also, again, about streams and our socials, we both stream.
We
You know,
both
you
do
should
stream
definitely check us
daily.
out.
Well, he streams daily. I stream whenever I can be bothered.
I'm big grinding. He's just like, nah.
You're big grinding. I have university. There's a difference.
I have college and work.
I film it like pretty much every day. I literally like if I'm not talking to you on Discord, I'm literally holding a camera. What am I supposed to do?
Not hold a camera.
I mean, man, it's my degree. Come on, leave me alone. Anyway, let's move on to the whole Belle Delphine thing. So she tweeted out the other day saying, "I got arrested, lol." Followed by, I'll put it up on the screen, but followed by her wearing fuck all makeup, to be honest. Well, mascara running, fucking. Why is she smiling in her mugshot? Did you see her mugshot?
Yep.
Why is she smiling? Was she like, can we take a pretty one, please?
Yeah.
This is going on my Insta. Like, come on, like, Belle Delphine, you just got arrested. First of all, what did she get arrested for?
I don't know. Come on, look it up. Google. Okay. Whilst he's googling that, we also, no matter what you're watching or listening to this podcast on, we have a lot of different socials for the actual podcast itself. So they'll all be linked below or on screen, etc., etc. So check us out on all socials, because this will be a weekly thing, like I said in the beginning. Hopefully, don't know what day yet. Maybe leave a comment, tweet at us what day you'd like to see it.
So, apparently, she got arrested because she spray painted someone's car saying, "Bitch, give me back my hamster."
That actually a legit thing?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Who took a yo? Which one of you motherfuckers watching took a hamster? Which one of you fuckers? That's
Literally,
jokes.
like, I'll put the pictures up on the podcast. So anyone watching this on the YouTube channel will get the exclusive look at these. I mean, you could just search her up, but you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. But she literally spray painted someone's car saying, "Bitch, give me my hamster back." Bitch, what?
Bitch, where?
Bitch, what? Bitch, where? But like, seriously, she. First of all, it's a hamster. It's a fucking hamster. You can buy them in pretty much any pet store. Why do you want that hamster?
Because hamsters are cool. Yo, story time really quick. I've got a hamster that died, and we ended up putting it in a watch box and burying it in my back garden, because that's the first thing that came to mind, is put it in a watch box, because why not?
Because you're an epic gamer. Anyway, yeah, no, I had a hamster once. I got him for my 8th birthday because I was like, Mum, Dad, I can actually look after an animal. Please let me.
I still can't even look after myself.
And they were like, we trust you enough, here's a hamster. And I was like, woo. Long story short, there was a lightning storm about 2 days after, and it had a heart attack and died.
Yikes.
I missed that.
Have you seen, if you've been on Twitter recently, there's a tweet that blew up about in somewhere in Iraq, I think it is. Yeah, it's Iraq, and there's a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I normally talk about going on in Iraq, but yeah. Yeah, here's another thing. Have you guys actually like looked at her prices when it comes to, like, her adult like imagery?
No, I've not. 'Cause I'm
16
only 16.
photos plus a personalized video for $500. That's a fucking bargain. No jokes.
I'm starting saving now, baby.
I mean, no, you don't need to buy them. They're on the internet. The thing is, though, she's hated by all of the adult industry because she doesn't admit to being in it.
When she clearly
There's been a lot of like public beef between her and like certain like adult entertainers because she, no matter how much they say she's an adult entertainer, by the way, she's 19. She's 19, her little sister is 16, and her little sister is trying to follow in her footsteps. That's creepy.
Whoa, that's a bit weird, that.
Yeah, her little sister's on TikTok. Don't ask how I know that.
No.
But the thing is, like, so she's selling images of herself not wearing clothing. She is she's selling her bodily fluids, which, by the way, is a thing a lot of adult entertainers do.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it actually is. Creepy old guys will buy adult entertainer.
I'm sat here with one in my hand. Like you're saying about creepy old guys.
But the thing is, like, she will never admit to being an adult entertainer because that puts her in a box. She wants to be Belle Delphine.
She wants
the
to be known
internet
as
girl.
herself.
She doesn't want to be Belle Delphine, the adult entertainer. $9,999 for a little jar of piss.
That's too much, bro.
Well,
Why do you even want to buy it, though?
better get fucking drinking. She hasn't sold it yet. It's still on her website.
That's really weird.
I was talking to someone about her the other day because, like, I was just baffled by how she's doing this. And, like, I watched, like, a whole little, like, mini documentary on her. And the things that she, like, first of all, she was born with, like, a displaced hip. So she had, like, multiple surgeries to fix her hip. So she never had a proper childhood because she was always, like, in hospital. That is why she's kind of, like, more childish now than, like, most people her age. Also,
She's been doing this for years, though. If you've like looked into it, she's been doing this since she was 16.
yeah, no, she originally did not have pink hair. It's brown. I know, right? Shocker. But yeah, I've seen, like, first of all, she has, like, a pet squid, what she uses in some of her videos, and it's kind of creepy.
It's got like eyes on it, hasn't it?
Yeah, she's got, like, googly eyes to it, and it's actually so weird. Anyway, let's move on. In August 2019, Nadeshot announced that they are no longer participating in any of the Call of Duty franchised league tournaments due to it being too expensive. Nadeshot knows it's probably worth it to carry on doing it. The reason Nadeshot is not doing it is because COD's dying. COD is dying. COD started to die right after Black Ops 4 came out. The whole COD community kind of started to die. I feel like, CLASSI, you're probably more into the COD community. Can you, like, kind of explain how it started to die?
Pretty much, more people started to quit because the games started to get worse and worse over the years, and it kind of had a knock-on effect to everyone because the more people who left the community in sniping, trick-shotting, and obviously, like, even management parts of esports, all parts of COD, everyone was affected by it because the more and more people that started to quit, the more and more people started to get bored because there wasn't as many people as they used to. It had just a massive knock-on effect, pretty much, and it's pretty much dead. Hopefully, Modern Warfare, the next Call of Duty that's going to be released in a couple of weeks now, I think it is.
Yeah, I think
That should hopefully try and bring it back.
The thing I want to quickly touch on with the COD thing is, Do you think the advent of Fortnite becoming popular killed like COD?
Yeah, yeah. There was a lot of big named YouTubers who used to do COD. Like, if people know about definitely about the trick shot inside and sniping side, there was Red Key, the whole red side of teams. That's also an esports team, so maybe some
Well, we can think of
esports
bigger. We
people.
can even think of like Courage JD.
Phase and yeah, there's a lot.
Like
There's a lot of
Courage JD for years was a COD caster. He would
Mhm.
cast every COD, like massive COD event. Then he joined Optic, casting and
Mhm.
playing COD. He
Mhm.
also, I mean, he originated from Halo as well, but COD was where his like career took off.
Mhm.
And then Fortnite came along. He started to play Fortnite quite a bit, and now Courage JD is one of the people who you just associate with Fortnite.
He's one of the biggest Fortnite household names, pretty much.
Well, if you think about it, he didn't have like 1 million followers or like on anything until Fortnite.
Yeah.
Fortnite came
Fortnite
around,
made him.
and then he got so popular, he just dropped Optic.
Yep.
Like that's that's when you know the game made his career, is when he dropped out of Optic
One of the biggest teams in the world.
to pursue Fortnite as a solo career.
He's doing good for himself though, really.
He is doing good. His branding's fucking on point. I feel like as soon as he got that
Mhm.
brand the way he wanted it and he left Optic, he got way more support. Also, now what Ninja's no longer on Twitch, he's one of the most watched Twitch streamers, because Ninja's no longer there.
Yep.
I think the only person who's above him is like Tim
Tim the Tap Man.
and
Dr. Lupo isn't.
Lupo's
even,
not actually as big as people say.
Yeah, no. He's got clout. Not get me
Yeah,
wrong.
he does have clout. He's Clapper Pigger, like, not gonna lie.
Yeah, viewer wise and stuff on Twitch, I thought it'd be a lot more than it is, but it's still good.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong,
man,
it's still great.
He's insane. But like, the advent of Fortnite definitely killed COD.
Mhm.
And I feel
Back
like
onto the 100 Thieves though, they did announce that they stopped doing it. They're just not doing it anymore. So they came into the community how long ago? About 2 years ago.
yeah, 2 or 3, something like that.
2 or 3 years ago, and they've done well. They've competed a few times. They've won a lot of stuff. They're a big name team now. So, like I said, with the knock-on effect of people quitting more, that is going to have a massive knock-on effect within the community, because that's one of the
Yeah.
biggest gaming organizations. And as soon as they announce that they're not doing COD,
Many teams.
a lot of
yeah.
smaller teams and organizations and followers and fans of that team is going to go.
Yeah.
If they're not doing it,
Just
why
just
am I?
like build on that a little bit. Did you ever listen to Courage and Nature's podcast?
No, I've not actually.
So one of the times that they mentioned about like how they started, they were both in Optic.
Yeah.
Nature left to actually make 100T. And when he left, he actually offered Courage
Yeah, a spot.
a spot,
100
like a
teams.
management role as well.
Mhm.
Because him and Courage were friends for fucking years. They go way back. But like once he left like Optic and made 100 Thieves, that was like the pinnacle of like his career. 100 Thieves went
Mhm.
from like nothing to a lot in like literally like no time.
6 months.
Like compared to
Maybe even.
most like gaming organizations like FaZe, they took
It
ages
took
to get to a
them
mill.
years.
But then once they hit a mill, they just climbed.
That was it. They took it off.
They climbed.
Also, we'll switch topics now onto FaZe. FaZe
Yeah.
is now partnered up, and they've sponsored or some. They've
Oh,
had a
they're-
partnership with
they're
the
partnered.
actual football team at Man City, which is insane. You can talk more on
Their
that.
Man City thing is all about bringing esports and sports together. So me and Classy were privately talking yesterday about, do we think what esports is a real sport? And I just want to bring
Yeah.
up a point we made yesterday. Their training regimes are basically the same. When you're an esports team, before like big matches, you would have to have like a strict like regime. It'd be like maybe like 12 hours a day like actually practicing. You'd have to go to a gym because you have to be fit. You can't be sat on a stage for like 5 or 6 hours constantly doing hand movements if you're some like really fat guy who like can't walk
And
upstairs.
it looks bad on the actual team
Yeah.
as also in the organisation. They want the actual management side of the team will
Yeah.
recruit kind of like people who do the actual players' diets and stuff like they still have a
And,
diet
like,
that they have to follow.
at
They
the
have
end of the
to.
day, they have such like similar regimes that when
Mhm.
people say what they're not the same thing, it's
It
kind of a
technically
joke.
is.
It's kind of a joke. Because like
Mhm.
the amount of time that's put in for most gamers, it's the same amount of time you probably find at like any football club is like practicing. Actually, they probably
Yeah.
practice more than football clubs. Because they do have that one good thing, which is they can practice whenever they want.
Yeah.
But game esports is one of them things where it's slowly but surely being more and
Becoming
more
more.
recognized
Yeah, it's
as
becoming
a
more
sport.
mainstream in the media.
Yeah. Like now you can like turn on any channel and there's at least one news channel reporting something esports related.
It's blowing up more in the US than it is in
Yeah.
the UK at the moment,
The
and definitely in
I don't
other
know,
parts of the world.
the UK scene is it's not the best. But like especially because TwitchCon just happened, and like
Mhm.
we'll get into some of the Twitch changes later. But the things what like happened at TwitchCon kind of cemented the esports like partnership with like the real world. Because like a few years ago, if you say what you're a Twitch streamer, people would laugh at you. They would say, "Why are you doing that? That's a waste of time." But more and more
Mhm.
people are now making it their job. And I think that's just to do with the fact that like gaming as a whole has become like more accepted.
Acceptable.
Because like 5 years ago, people were like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go home and play FIFA." They're like, "Why don't you go outside and actually play football?"
Yeah.
But now you're like, "I'm gonna go play football." And like, mate, I have FIFA at home. Why don't we just do that? It's kind of like a role reversal now when it comes to like esports and normal sports.
Yeah.
But I say, but
Especially with YouTubers as well.
Yeah.
Like, parents would be like, "Why are you watching a YouTuber play that game online? Why don't you go and play that game?" Like, if FIFA YouTubers and stuff like that, like the Sidemen group in the UK especially, like they have all grown their platforms off of FIFA and doing FIFA pack openings and playing Ultimate Team
Yeah.
and doing loads of stuff like that. And if you know about them, then you already know what I'm talking about.
What
But
excuse did you give your parents when they
oh,
asked you why you're watching them?
I just said I enjoyed watching them. That was it.
I always tell my
Fair
parents
enough.
what I'm learning from them. It's
See,
like saying,
everyone has different things that they'll tell.
it's like
certain
saying,
people.
"Oh, why are you watching this person? Like, why are you watching this walkthrough?" And I'm like, if I'm stuck on a level, I'm not gonna sit there for ages stuck on it. I'll get bored.
Yeah, I'll go and watch. Like
Watch a
Ali
quick
A used
walkthrough.
to Ali A when he was big into Call of Duty.
Yeah.
He used to do
He used to do the fucking
walkthroughs on
the
the
single player
campaigns.
walkthroughs.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
there's
really
a lot
I
of
want to watch that again.
same.
Like when I remember when Infinite Warfare came out, everyone hated that game. I don't know why. I liked the game. The game was good. The multiplayer sucked. Don't get me wrong, the multiplayer sucked.
Yeah.
But the game itself cemented like a really good campaign with a good story. And I feel like if people just didn't like it because of the multiplayer, but I watched Ali A play it because my mum was like, "I'm not buying you this game." Like, not at all. And then I was like, "Well, if I can't play it, I'll watch it." About a week
Yeah.
later, my mum surprised me with it. So like, could I have waited?
Yeah.
Probably. So recently TwitchCon happened and Twitch announced a load, and I mean a load of new features. Some of them good, some of them not so good. First change, what everyone probably noticed when they log into Twitch now, is the revamp. They revamped it, finally. I was saying a couple weeks ago, it's a bit boring, they need to change it. I don't like how they changed it. Glad they did. But they could have been a little bit less heavy-handed when it comes to it. They changed everything. The dark theme is darker, the light theme is way lighter. Like, whoever has light theme on, are your corneas okay? But the changes what they made were good. They changed the logo a little bit. They made it more simple. They also added, I think I had 28 new colors. So originally when Twitch came out, they only had the purple and like the black, but now they have 28 different colors that they're using in all of their logos.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. One of the things that they also added, which I feel like everyone who's affiliated will love, is support for adverts on affiliate platforms. So
Yeah.
you originally had to have a partner, well, be partnered, to use like actually gain money from adverts. But now
I'll
if
talk
you're
more on the partner. On the partnership, you have to complete a certain amount of tasks by Twitch that they've set
yeah,
for you. Same with being affiliate. Like for affiliates, you have to reach 50 followers on your Twitch channel.
yeah.
You have to average 3 viewers. And you have to stream on, I think it's 7 separate days in a row.
7 separate days for 28 hours.
Yeah, something like that. I think they've changed that up as well with the new updates and new
I
features
think
with
I don't know. Did
Twitch.
they make it easier or harder?
I think they've made it easier, but it's
Yeah.
the exact same with partnership and stuff like that. There's a load of little tasks that you have to complete to
Yeah.
have that status on on the actual platform, and it's hard to say get a partner. And partners, they would be able to run 30-second ads, 1-minute ads and stuff, and they would earn money from the amount of viewers at the time that they have
Yeah.
and how many people watch through the ad. And it would only be for the partner that they would be able to do it. And now with the new update, Twitch has turned around and gone, wait, stop a minute, we'll do this for affiliates so they can have a feel of what it's like to do it, but as an affiliate you won't be obviously earning much. I think it's like
I think
one
it's
one
$1
British pound,
yeah, it's
$1
$1
for
every
1,000 views.
Yeah.
So
But that runs on per minute of advert. How Twitch has now done it is you can run a 30-second, a 1 minute, a 1.5 minute, a 2 minute, or a 2.5 minute. So if you're wanting to average the bank, you would probably need to be doing like 2.5 minute adverts like 4 or 5 times a stream. But to make sure they're not paying out a lot of money, they've actually added a buffer to it. I don't know how long the buffer is, but you can't do them like in succession. Because first of all, it will water down your content. It'll be like 99% advert, and that just won't fly. Your community will hate you for it. Like whoever just spams ads, you're a dick. But now that affiliates are able to do this, it adds another like reason to be affiliated. So before it was just subs, and really that's about it really. Like subscribing on Twitch after the whole September thing happened has just gone back to the normal like $5 per sub, and now that it's that, you earn half of that, Twitch earns the other half. But in September, was it literally you earn all of it?
You learn, yeah. When you sub now, say when it's not September, it's $4.99 for a subscription to a channel. Obviously, you have to be affiliated to get the sub button for starters, and with that, the actual streamer themselves would, if you earn enough money in that 1 month, in a month, then you'll be able to get paid. And the way it works is the $5 gets like split between the actual company Twitch and the streamer themselves. So say you had 10 subs and say it was $50 for them 10 subs, you would get $25, $20.
So basically what Twitch is doing is they're like, you're using our platform,
so we'll take half the money.
We're going to take half the money. Once you're partnered, I think they take less. I think partners... Yeah, I think partners don't take, like... Partners get a higher percentage, but
it's not much of a higher percentage.
No.
It's like with the ads as well, they also get to run ads and earn money from the ads, so it doesn't really matter
especially
about
like
the subs.
when you got people like Hamlin's or something who are averaging like 1,000, 2,000 people in chat at a time, you run an ad, you've made like a couple of quid.
Yeah.
So like, if they're just continuously doing that, more money the better.
Yeah.
But with the new changes, they've also added a new dashboard. The new dashboard, I'm not a big fan of. I'm completely honest. It's got the preview right in the center. It doesn't have your chat unless you actually activate it. It has your viewers on like, I think it's the left, and on the right you've got panels. So you can have all your buttons to run ads. You've got like your stream markers. You can now toggle on and off your subscriber only and your follower only, as well as emo only. Another change what they did was when you hover over like a video, it will pop up a little bit, and then the channel color, so you can now pick a channel color, will go like underneath it.
Also on the channel colors, also you can, if you pick it, when someone subscribes in your chat, as if someone subscribes in the chat, then next to the sub you can have like a colour that comes
Yeah.
up, and my personal colour is like red and black.
Mine
Like
is
that's
pink,
what
yeah.
that's yeah, that's what I have my theme of colours. It's red and black, so obviously I've
Yeah.
chose red for my colour, but that's all I've really got to say about that, the colour
Yeah.
wise.
And just to wrap up the podcast a little bit, all of our socials are underneath our names. Classy also has a YouTube channel, which is just official Classy. I have a
All my
YouTube channel,
socials are official Classy.
which is Fatal Hijack. All my socials are. You can also join both of our Discords in the description, and that's probably the best way to get to know like when we're streaming. Announcements do go out. Also, our Twitters are probably the best place to get hold of us, but also follow the official Twitter for the podcast, which
And
is
our
Planet
YouTube
Online.
channel and stuff.
Yeah, and follow the channel as well, please.
Also, I don't know how people would probably think about this, but if you want to, you can leave a comment now and let us know if you want us to make a actual Twitch channel for the podcast, and we could maybe do some live streams of our podcast.
We can
And we
like,
can turn
live
that into a
stream some,
video.
like, interviews and shit. Yeah, that'd be good.
And we'll get some guests on too. So if
Yeah.
you want to actually be a guest on the channel, then you can DM us on Twitter, put in the YouTube comments and stuff. There'll be a lot of ways to contact us. All our information will be in the description, and you can tell stories on the podcast. You can just be a guest on it, and we can maybe like interview you type thing. But
again,
this
if
was
you-
our first podcast, so
Yeah.
it's just pretty much a tester. So
And
I
if you
hope
don't
you have
actually
enjoyed.
want to be on the podcast, but you want your story to be, DM the official Twitter for the podcast with your story, and we'll probably follow up by would you like to tell us on the podcast. If you say no, we'll always ask for permission to read it out, and then we'll read it out for you, and then you can chuck along at home with it. We have a guest lined up next week. I already did get us some guests. So
I don't even know about this. This is a surprise to me.
guests are coming. I spoke to them last night. Guests will be coming. I've been Hijack.
I've been Classy, and I'm thankful that you've come by and watched and listened. So
Yeah.
that's it. Peace.